Well, that was a nice quick result. I just popped the rod down under these bushes in this bay where I'd seen a couple of fish roll as I was sort of walking to my swim. And she's just next door, and it was away straight away. I ain't got anything set up yet, so I might well decide to fish up here. Yeah, it's literally only been in there 5 minutes. Nice common. All right, calm down. Calm down. Easy, tiger. You don't like that net? Can't say I blame him. He's trying to get under it, get out of it. I'm just trying every trick in the book, this one. But in the end, only one winner. There's me. Good start. Nice. Should have a bit of an introduction really, just appearing out the blue like this. We're at Blasford Hills in Essex. Lovely little day ticket water that I fished twice before. Once in the winter and once last year. And we're filming the annual TF Gear DVD. We've been here not very long at all, and we have very lively fish on the bank. There we go, lovely, lovely looking common. He's a little bit lively, so we're only going to keep him out for a brief few seconds just to show you, and then he can go back. Oh, he's actually behaving a little bit now. Nice. First of many, hopefully. Nice to be off the mark. He got to have his dinner before I even had mine. Pop him back, get the bait out there, get a barbecue on. Thank you very much. Right, here we go. It is the evening. And I have been making myself a little culinary delight. Well, actually, it's not for myself, it's for the cameraman, because I'm not allowed to eat bread at the moment, but he is. So, using a little sandwich maker, which is an amazing piece of kit, I've made him a toasted cheese and ham sandwich of absolute top order. Look at that. These are so easy to cook in. I've been using these loads lately. Cooking, well, in a minute I'm going to cook a steak in it for myself. After you can have the sandwich, I'll have the steak. Cook anything in it. I've been cooking fish in it, meat, sandwiches, even heating up rice in a silver foil little parcel and putting it in there, warming it up, the Uncle Ben's microwavable rice, taking that out, putting a bit of fish in there, cooking that, lovely plate of food. There's no excuse to eat rubbish on the bank really. It's all very easy for you. So there we go, for the cameraman. See you in a minute. Here you go. Sandwich maker, also steak maker. The crack with these, if you want to cook a decent steak, get the pan hot first. Never put it in a cold pan. Got myself a steak, to excuse any smoke, because I've also got a barbecue on the go with some burgers on, because I am cooking for the whole crew. Again, 2 nights on the trot. Olive oil. Little bit of olive oil, just paste it on both sides. Salt and black pepper, if you've remembered it, or if like me you haven't, don't bother. And when your pan's nice and hot, pop him open, drop him in. Should make that noise. If you don't make that noise, it's not hot enough. And the beauty of these over some others is you've got these little ridges in the bottom, and that'll help drain the fat out when it cooks and stop it sticking. pop him on, cook him however you want him. I reckon about 4 to 5 minutes aside. Medium to well. Oh, smoke, the burgers are ready. See you in a minute. Right, there we go. I reckon that should be about right. Ooh. Oh, he's looking lush. Look at that, I must show you. That is prime. Turn him over. See the other side. That is good. Like I say, you just sort of learn how long to give it for your own personal tasting steak. I'd say that's medium to medium rare. It's absolutely gorgeous. And don't do what I just done and cut it in the pan, because you will ruin your pan if you start sawing. Use a plate. Mmm. Yum. Right, you can go away, I need to eat this.
Hi, I'm Richard from Total Carp magazine. You'll see me popping up through various points of the DVD, but before we get out on the bank with Dave, I'm going to show you my version of the multi-rig. So this is my version of the multi-rig. This is what we're going to be tying today. I like to use a boom section of between 10 and 14 inches, and then just a stiff section of mouth trap roughly between 2 to 1.5 inches long. Just like that, just to keep the pop-up off any debris, any detritus on the lake bed, just fished over a scattering of boilies. So without further ado, we'll get on and tie it. So I like to start off by taking a good length of hook link material, probably about 6 inches long, folding the filament in half, and then just pinching roughly to the height that I want the pop-up presented. And then like to take between 10 and 14 inches of soft end trap. This is going to be for my boom section for the rig. I like to strip back between 3 and 4 inches of the coating. Taking my mouth trap material and the uncoated boom section, I'm then going to tie this with a Albright knot, whipping 6 times up the mouth trap and 3 times back down, and then back through the eye of the loop, teasing it down slowly. Then it's just a case of trimming off the tag ends and blobbing with a lighter. Being careful not to burn any of the mouthtrap material. I like to use a nice sticky sharp hook. For this I'm using the Eagle Claw Chocar Magnum Chod hooks in a size 5. I generally like to use a bigger size hook as I want to try and target the biggest fish in the lake really. So a good tip for getting the mouth trap through the eye of the hook is using a piece of dental floss. Just thread that through and gently tease the mouth trap section through. Just makes it a lot easier than trying to actually get the hook link material on its own. Then I like to put a hook bead onto the shank of the hook, followed by a micro rig ring. I like to place the hook bead on the shank of the hook, just so on long casts I know that that D section on my mouth trap is going to be sitting correctly. Last thing you want is to be casting and for the D section to close and not be sitting on the lake bed properly. At the other end of the boom section, I like to tie a figure of 8 loop knot. This is just for quick change, using a quick swivel on a helicopter setup. Just allows me to change the rig should I need to. Obviously with the multi-rig you can change your hook and hook bait relatively easily. And I like to moisten the knot. Obviously with all your knots, it's better to add either water or saliva. And pull down tightly with a rig pulling tool. With this rig, I like to use a nice buoyant pop-up. Pacific tuna pop-ups from CC Moore are extremely buoyant. Obviously you want the rig sitting proud off any detritus or any debris on the lake bed. So it's just a case of taking a piece of floss, threading it through the eye with your micro rig ring. Taking your pop-up and just sliding it on. Trim off your tag ends, and again just blobbing with a lighter. Then I just like to take quite a large amount of putty just to cover the knot. This will also help critically balance the hook bait. Obviously always test your rigs in the edge of the water and either apply more putty or take putty off. And there it is, the finished rig, one that's been doing me really well this season, having 15 fish in just a short space of time. Generally picks out the bigger fish as well, I feel, giving perfect hook holds. Generally had most of them bang in the middle of the lip, about an inch back.
Hello mate, how you doing? You all right?
Not too bad yourself?
Yeah, I'm good, I'm good.
Cool, we bring a lot of gear with us, don't we?
Yeah, we do actually, don't we? But it's all quite easy when you've got barrows nowadays, isn't it? You know, the old days of rucksacks and carrying it around's gone. You get so much gear on it. This is a new one actually, I'm testing the trucker barrow.
Yeah.
What I like about this is most of this is my bivvy and bed. All my tackle is all within the actual barrow itself.
Fantastic.
You get 4 bags come with it. Literally I've got all my brew kit, got my tackle, bit of cooking gear there, everything you need, all my extra stuff, bins, bombs, that's got all my bait, catapults, actually everything I need for a day's fishing. It's all actually within the barrow. And I say bits on top, makes it very, very easy. It's got extendable sides if you've got a wider or a smaller chair. No, literally just a couple of screws on the bottom, any size you want. Nice and easy. Oh, that's a handy bit with this as well. Yeah, they just pop out and they can go inside your bivvy.
So does the wheel stay on then, does it Dave?
No, that comes off and that all folds in. There's 2 screws at the bottom there, you just pop them out. Whole wheel comes out with all that assembly. Take that bag off the front, fold that up, these come out. It all folds down to nothing. It's literally a dead flat, that square, that thick.
Brilliant.
With a separate wheel. Nice and easy. It's only because really, you know, I mean I've got a big 4x4, but a lot of people have just got normal cars with a boot, so you've got to have a barrow that will fit in any of it, you know, and that'll just go in the back of a normal boot, flat on the floor, and your gear will go on top. Just seen a couple of fish cruising about on the surface. Was thinking of putting a zig out and my bottom bait ripped off, which is well handy. I don't think he's a very big one, to be honest. Lively little fella, though. Oh, so close. We got him. Good start to the morning. Look at the map. Right, here we go. First one of the day. Oh, off that exact same spot as the one yesterday. That's obviously one rod sorted. Oh, nice one, maybe a little bit bigger than yesterday's. Another pretty common. I like a little scrap under the rod tip as well. You don't like the look of the net. It's still nice and early, so there's plenty of time for another one, or two even. Lovely job. Morning. Right, let's slide him back, get that bait back in position. Oh. Yeah. All right. Okay. Pop the old ramp down. And away he goes. See you later. Right. Right, we're going to chuck this back down there on that little spot where I had them two fish. Just using a little yellow essential cell wafter on the bottom. And although it's only close in, I'm using quite a big lead, 4 ounce lead. That's just to give the make the rig work better, give them something to hook themselves against. Because I'm fishing a very slack line, so I want, as soon as they pick it up and blow it out, I want a bit of a jerk against the hook point. I'm just going to put a handful of 15mm hybrid over the top, and hopefully that'll be good enough to get myself another bite. There's obviously one spot I've identified to get a bite, but I want to find somewhere else for the other rod. Right, for this other rod, I've been fishing it by this little tiny island here. I've had a couple of pulls about, and the island's actually part of a bar, as they often are. And it's very steep and very, very clean, probably where the geese and swans have cleaned it off. So using a lead that shape, what's happening is that as I'm sort of tweaking the line, I can feel that rolling and bouncing down the hill, as it were. So I'm always going to be fishing at the bottom. Now I've seen 8 or 10 fish, a group of them came through and they were just under the surface. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap that out for somewhere, there we go, a flat lead. So when I cast this out right on top of the bar, that's going to lay flat, and as I tighten up to it, that's not going to roll down the hill. So I can actually fish that in shallower water because of the shape of the lead. And like I say, I've seen them fish on the top, so I'm going to fish probably, if I can get away with it, a couple of foot below the surface on top of that bar. That's the plan. See how it works out. See if we can balance this on the edge of that little bar right next to that island. Like that. So that was pretty much perfect. And if that was that round lead, as I even done this to sink the line, that would have gone straight off the edge. But as is, it's still up there. Let's see what that brings. Oh, I was also in the middle of putting on these new alarms. I noticed I've only done one, so I'm going to do that other one. Put a little bit of bait in, make a cup of tea. It's get that alarm.
So are these the new response alarms then, Dave?
Yeah, yeah. They're, give them a little run out. Had a fish on them already.
Brilliant.
Yeah, they're very nice. Nice and compact, which is good. They're fully sealed as well, so very, very waterproof. Quite simple. You've got 3 functions, and each button's got 4 settings. So you just hold it for on, and then that's also your volume, the on and off. So it just gets down. You get 3 beeps, 4 beeps, and then back down to 1. And the same for your sensitivity. You just run through on your sensitivity, turn the volume back on. So the more beeps, the more sensitive, the more beeps, the louder the volume. And then you run through your tone settings as well, low, high, in the middle.
Fantastic.
The good thing about sensitivity, it does go very sensitive. So if you're fishing at range or up against weed or snags especially, you know what fish are like, they're very cagey. You want to know if you get a pickup, especially if you're near some sort of an obstacle, and you want to know straight away. So you just flick it over to the most sensitive, and you're going to know, the slightest movement. That is on the most sensitive setting, slightest touch. You're going to get an indication, or if the wind gets up or whatever, you just turn it down. Yeah. It doesn't drive you mad with beeps.
So do they come in a range of different colours with the LEDs, do they?
Yeah, and you get 3 in a set with a remote sounder box as well.
Fantastic.
I've moved back up to this island for a little bit. I've seen, since I had that last fish in the bay, I've seen 3 or 4, well, probably 4 or 5, maybe even half a dozen, cruising out of the bay, coming towards this island. I don't think they're leaving now. I think they're doing a little circuit between this island and that bay. So I'll come down here. I've got one just close in, halfway en route, and this one, again on the sort of flat lead, I'm going to put on the end of the island. There's a little bar coming off, and I've seen a couple of swirls there. So I'm going to plop him out there. Just a single bait. Hope to ambush once it goes past. Not really far enough, sort of missed the bar there. A bit more line out, clip him up. That's better. Right, let's give that an hour, see how we get on with that. So I've not been up here by this island for overly long. I'd flick one out just on the end of that bar, and he's away. So I reckon they're patrolling up from that little bay where I was earlier, out to this island and back. That seems to be what's going on anyway. They just don't like that last little bit by the net. As soon as they see it, they're off. Definitely a bigger fish. There we go. He's in. Right, slide this fella back. It's a bit shallow in the margins there, so I've waddled out here so he's got a bit of depth. So that's 2 spots we got going. Toggle backwards and forwards between the 2 today, I think. There he is. Oh, you're going. Just say goodbye to the camera. Okay, all right. There he goes. Lovely job. Oh, 3 down and counting. Okay, here we've got the flat out Super King bed chair, designed for today's market where people want comfort, width and more comfort, and you've got plenty of both here. Start at the top end, we've got this lovely lush big thick pillow which can actually zip off if you don't want it on there, but why you wouldn't I have no idea. Nice big thick warm fleece covered mattress, which can, to be honest, in the summer might get a little bit warm, so it toggles out and you can reverse that over, tuck that way at the bottom, summer side, winter side. To be honest, you haven't got to have it if you don't want to, if you want to lighten it up. But talking of weight, that's the beauty of it. Although it is a big piece of kit, it weighs nothing. It is so light, it's unbelievable. Nice and easy to move around. It's got 4 sets of legs, all fully adjustable. Great big nice mud feet, swivel on the bottom for any sort of ground. So you can always have it level. Folds totally flat with this wheelless, camless design. Just clicks flat there, clicks back there. So once you've clicked it open, folds out, dead flat, light, comfortable, warm, beautiful. Get on it. I will be later. Okay. There we go, really is as easy as that. Lovely job. Oh, cool, that's proper comfy, that is. Is it too early for a little lay down, do you think? Right, I've moved up even further. I'm sort of playing leapfrog with the carp a little bit. We're almost up the opposite end to where I was this morning. Fish are all on the surface, and there's no surface fishing on this lake, and you couldn't anyway because of the ducks and the gulls and what have you. So basically I'm following them down and I'm looking for shallow water in the margins and what have you. There isn't a lot, and I've got to here where there's an island and there's a channel each side, and then it goes onto the shallows, and I've seen fish going up to the island and skirting the margins, and from what I can make out it's not very deep at all out there. So I'm going to try, there's a tree in the way unfortunately, I'm going to try and lob one over the top of this tree and then bring the rod round and plug it in under the island. I'm going to try. Because that, I think, is where I am going to get a bite. But there's a tree that stopped me casting there, and a tree there. And if it all goes horribly wrong, you will never see this. Oh, look at that. And it spooked a fish as it went in. It pinged a branch, bounced a branch, spooked a fish. At least I know I'm on the right spot. I won't be catching him, but one of his mates might come along in a minute. That'll do nicely. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a bite.
Fish on them days?
Yeah, and a bit of a nightmare. Somehow it's picked up a branch and it's just kited around into those other branches.
Is that from off the island, is it, or?
It picked up, yeah, I hooked it on the end of the island, and then it's picked up all of that lot halfway across. I'm just trying to keep it out of there. So all a bit of a drama, really.
Yeah, feel like a good one?
Well, it did. I can't feel it at the moment. Oh yeah, there it is behind, but that lot won't come off, so you might have to assist here. Oh, I can see it's wrapped right round that. Now, actually, if you grab the net, and I'll just walk back. It's a bit unorthodox, but that's me, I'm out of line. Right, someone from the crew, come and have a look at this, will you? Just see if that's obviously easy, really quick to do. And if you get any pull, let it go. Nice one, well done, top man. We're back in. I saw the size of it and thought I didn't want to muck about too much. It's a good one. Nice. That's a proper one. I'm happy with that. Très happy. Oh. Right. I'm going to weigh this one. He's worth weighing. Maybe zeroed it all in. Nice. Someone just pass us the scales, please. Cheers. £26. Oh, perfecto. He's the one we came for. Oh yes, £26. Absolute belter. There he goes. Days of happiness. Tea time. Always tea time when you're with a carp. Oh, well, another one from under that island. That is a nice little spot. He tore off. Luckily this time came away from the island rather than towards it, so no extra branches attached to this one. Strange really how the night didn't produce anything, and then in the middle of the day, and it is actually quite warm today, when you'd think there wasn't a chance, that's when the bites are coming. They just don't like that last little roll into the net. Don't blame them. Every time. 6 inches to go and they will not just do that last bit again. Easy. Oh, maybe I'll make that one. Oh, here's another nice one. Another mid-20. It's better and better and better. Oh, I love it. Love a bit of carp angling. Oh, there. Lovely job. Nice big golden common in the sunshine. First bit of spring and a few fish on the bank. What could be better? Right, back he goes. Well, good morning. Misty old morning this morning. I'm in that little swim in the bay where I had my first couple of fish along this tree line. I had one last night, and that must have been about 2 o'clock in the morning. I just slipped him straight back, and I decided not to recast it. I needed a little bit of kip after yesterday's filming, so I could hear them crashing in the night. And I woke up this morning about, I don't know, 6 o'clock I suppose, one boomed out, and I could just see the ripples spreading out from under this tree where I'd been getting bites. So I thought, oh, I better. So I got up, put a fresh bait on, flicked it along there, put it on the rest, turned around to make a cup of tea, bang, it was away. So we've got an early morning carp. That easy. None of the other rods have done anything, but that is obviously the feeding area down there. I think my new spot I found with the fish spy out on the bar, I think that is definitely going to kick off when it gets warmer. I think that's a bit of a transit route for them. But once they're in this bay, they like to feed under that little margin, which is actually just behind me. It's just under these bushes down here. That's where I'm getting them. Oh, he's a bit of a little fella, this one. Oh, a little sort of leather. Here we go, little grey leather. Bless him, he's not the prettiest carp I've ever seen. Everything else we've caught from here has been absolutely glorious. But he's a little character. So practically a leather, bless him. Right, let's pop him back and have that cup of tea, because that's what I need more than anything. Well, this is the product I've been waiting to film all morning, because the crew will have to stand there and watch me all salivating while I get to cook and eat breakfast. And the product itself is this new 3-in-1 incredibly non-stick pan. And the beauty is you can cook your sausages, your bacon or whatever, your eggs and your beans all separately, just like my kids like it. Obviously not only for breakfasts, you cook whatever. I mean, later on tonight I'm probably going to do, I don't know, I can envisage a steak in there, some sort of onions and mushrooms in there, and maybe some veg in that section. Look at that, perfect. And like I say, it is really, really non-stick. Nothing stuck there at all. It's nice and compact as well. There's a screw on the back here. You can take that off, the handle comes off, and that folds back in for storage. Look at that. And the best thing about it is that this lot, they all think they're going to get some. They can think again, because I am starving. Lovely job. Right, well, look at that. There's mine. And you lot, you can fight amongst the scraps. Cheers. Oh, perfect. Top notch.
Well, Dave?
Hello mate, you alright?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good. So this is the new airflow bivvy you've heard so much about in the office?
Yeah, the inflatable. Yeah, it's a good bit of kit. Yeah, it's the big and the 2-man version. As you can see, it's a proper 2-man. You can get 2 beds in there. Plenty of room for all your luggage. Yes, very, very spacious.
Yeah, it's quite substantial, looks nice and sturdy as well.
It's very strong actually. You know, people, you think inflatable, it's not going to be firm, but to be honest, once these are up, they're more rigid than a metal frame, you know, an aluminium frame. They are absolutely solid, these poles, you know, rock hard. And we've had it up in all conditions and it stands up to anything. It really is, you know, the rigidity there is absolutely amazing for an inflatable product. Yeah, I'll give you a better look inside. Oh, you can see it's massive in here, isn't it? Yeah, you know, you've had people in development when I've spoke to people about it and that, you have people say, oh, you know, what if you get a puncher or something like that, which is, or get a hook in it, which is pretty ridiculous, really. You know, I mean, yeah, fair enough. It's, yeah, you're going to think that in your mind, an inflatable product, but you've got this outer sleeve. These are the air poles, the inner of the air poles. You've got an outer sleeve. Obviously, you've got the bivy material on the outside. Then you've got this sleeve here. Then you've got another sleeve. See, that's got a zip there. This is a thick rubberized protection. And then inside that, you've got the actual air pole, which has also got a woven finish to the outside. So there's no way.
They really are puncture proof then.
You're not getting in, you know, you'd have a job to stab it to get a hole in it, really, to get it all through that. So you're not getting a puncture, you're not getting a hook in it. You know, that's just not happening.
So what are these pipes for then, Dave?
Well, these little ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all these poles are all interconnected through these little pipes. There's two there and one at the front. So when you pump it up, all the air, you only have to use one valve. So you pump up through one valve and the air will come through one pole and then rush through these little poles, and so it all goes up in one rather than having to go round and have different points to inflate it from.
So how hard is it to pump up then, Dave?
Easy, it really is. You know, it goes up in, I reckon, a minute of pumping and it's up. I'll tell you what, I've got one man next door, you can come and have a little go.
Okay.
I've pegged it out. I find it's easier if you peg it out first, just sort of gets the shape of it.
Yeah.
And it is literally, you've got that valve there, take the cap off, that plugs in, like so. I don't know why I'm doing this, because this is, you asked, you can pump, away you go. See you in 1 minute. It don't take a lot of effort, does it? It's very easy. The good thing about that pump as well is it's dual action, so it actually pumps on the way down and on the way up. And then you can hear the air starts off in one pole and runs through those little poles that you asked about, little pipes, and goes into the back ones, like that. There she goes. Pop. How easy is that?
Wow, that really is easy,
it's not bad at all, is it? And then there's just the one pole to add, which is the porch pole, which I've got down here. That just slides in that little sleeve around the front there, nice and easy. Into the other section there. That's just to hold your porch rigid, and you've got that little socket there that just goes on. You in?
Yep.
That's the final bit, it's just a little support bar there. And there it is, simple as that. Ready to rock.
Lovely and sturdy.
Yeah. Right, round at the front end, obviously we've got your full green door when the weather's thrashing at you, or when you just want a bit of privacy. Here we also have a 3-door option, which is your green door. You've got a mozzie door, just tuck that out of the way. Now that obviously rolls up and clips, doesn't live there. You've got, if your rain's hitting you, you know, and you can still see out, so you've got your clear door option, which does also come off. Store that away in the bag. Just chuck that down there for now. Then you've got your mosquito door as well.
Brilliant.
So that's that. Obviously that all rolls up out of the way, that zips back down. Your door's also got a 2-way zip on it. So if you want, I'll pop yourself inside and I'll show you. You can have it pillbox style. So you can have this any height you like. Sit on your bed, look out like that.
Fantastic.
So stops all the wind, and you've got the wind straight in your face, but you want an actual uninterrupted view out of the lake. And obviously you could have that depending on the conditions, however you wanted really. If the wind's coming from your side, have it up like that. Perfect. Also, the front of the door here, I'll just show you that because this is quite a thing. And when I was testing this, I was over on Monk's Pit and I was into a big wind head on, like a really, really big wind. And the front of the door actually velcros down. And at first I thought, oh, I don't know if that's a good or a bad idea, but it was fantastic because it was coming straight at me and I just bolted it down and nothing can get in.
Yeah,
so
nice,
you know, you can have your cooker and that just inside. No wind, no breeze, it was lovely. Absolutely lush.
So what is this other zip here as well, Dave?
Oh, that's for you've got little vented sides as well. So you've got that mozzie mesh there. So if you are using it, it's hot, you can roll that back. That's got a clip up there. I won't clip it up now, but it's got clips all the way around. So you can have the mosquito front and the mosquito sides. Just gives you a nice flow of air through there. Stops you getting too hot. And stops the mosquitoes getting in, obviously. Still shut back up in like that. And obviously the ground sheet's all built in as well. You know, like I said about when you Velcro that at the front, you're not getting any breezing, you're not getting anything from anywhere, and you're not getting any unwanted life in here, you know, mice, creepy crawlies, whatever. And the ground sheet is extra heavy duty, so nothing's coming through the bottom of it. You're not stabbing any holes in it with stones or whatever. It really is a proper thick, heavy duty ground sheet. And that is him, basically. Lovely bit of kit, very sturdy. Perfect. Right, and when it comes to putting away, that's just as easy. Literally, you've got two valves here. You undo the first one, that lets out the majority of the air. If you undo the second, that just makes sure all the air trapped in that back pipe will come out.
Super fast to pack away then.
Oh yeah, yeah. Should take the porch pole out, but slide that out still. And that's it, he's down. Unpeg him, roll him up. And there you go. Once he's deflated and rolled up, the best way is get it as tight as you can. Measure the length against the bag when you fold it all in. Have it on the floor and put the bag over the top rather than lifting him up and cramming him in. Slide that over the ends like so.
Nice and compact then.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, from the size it was. There you go. It's in. Pop them over. Zip him up.
Nice and small to get on your barrow as well.
Yep.
Doesn't take up too much
Yeah.
space.
It's nothing really, is it?
No.
Not particularly heavy. Nice and small. Lovely job. I've come round here where I've seen them a few fish coming around the back of that island at range, and I'm going to chuck the fish spy out there and hope to find a nice clear spot. I'm going to ping them just as they get round the back of that island. About there would be oh, actually did donk. Would be perfect if that was clear. Feels clear. What I'm going to do is let him up. There it is. And then he'll be in Wi-Fi range. Connect him up. There he is. And record. Right, that is recording now. So I'm going to slowly go down and have a look at that spot, and hopefully that'll be better than the last couple, because that is exactly where I want to present. Right, let's let that back to the top. Make sure that's upright, reconnect, and have a look and see what we got. Connecting, connected. Files, replay. Going down. Oh yeah. Oh, that's better. Oh, yeah, it's a lot better than the other spots. And right on target really as they come around the back of that island over there. It looks like it's been fed on anyway. I think I'm going to stick a little bit of bait around that. Let's go and get me spom rod. We're all ready now. Let's get a bit of boilie action going on. Oh, I don't know if you saw that, but a fish just rolled right behind the marker, about 2 foot behind it. That'll do, won't it? Happy with that one. Couple more like that, we'll be sorted. Right, I'm back up on that long spot. Check that, it's been out there a few hours. Let's see what's happened. I wrapped it up at the exact distance, I've just re-clipped it so it should land straight on it. Just on the right hand side of it. I did put a couple of spoms across that way. So. Alright, let's connect that up and have a look. That is the beauty of these things. I mean, you know, the name throws you a bit when it says fish spy. It's more than just spying on fish, to be honest. It's mainly looking at the bottom, checking the spots. I mean, I baited up earlier on, and short of going out in a boat, there's really no other way I could know if that bait's been eaten or not, or if the spot's been worked over, or anything that's happened. If the bait's maybe still there, which I'm hoping it's not, you know, that information isn't available to me any other way apart from with this camera float. Right, and replay. The sun a little bit. It's not very pleasing. I can see boilies. I was convinced they were going to eat it there. It's right on their route. Mind you, the fish I've seen have been up high coming around there. Maybe that's just a transit route. It looked like a spot, but like I just said, you know, I wouldn't have known that. But as you can see, or I'll show you in a minute, there's bait still there. That's not the one then, is it? Right, I'm going to check that other little spot down there on the mouth of that bay, because that looked even better, to be honest. Hopefully that'll have gone. Okay, I'm round here, I'm going to have a look in this little bay. It's all very overhung here, it's got lots of trees hanging over, very sheltered. So I think it's supposed to be fair depth along here. So I'm just going to check out the bottom here. Off the end of that tree, looks like a prime spot. Did feel a little bit soft actually as that hit the bottom there. There he is, right under that biggest tree. Down the bottom of the shelf. Right, connect up to him. Cool, that was quick, nice and close. And record. Let's take that down. We'll look at that, see what we got. Yeah. Sort of. With a chod you might get away with it, but it's quite typical of a little bay, to be honest. You do have to be careful with bays, depending if they're on the back of the wind like this. You can get quite a lot of debris that's fallen over the years off of these trees and just sort of drifted in here. And that's pretty typical of a debris strewn margin. I wouldn't say that was ideal. It don't look like it's been sifted through or cleaned over at all by fish. I think we'll give that a swerve. Onwards and upwards. Okay, we're round in one of the main swims on the lake now. And I think the top spot in here is off the corner of that island. The lake was quite busy over the weekend. So I'm going to have a little check out there and see if I can see if anything's been going on. Oh, look at that, absolutely spot on. There we go. Right, let's connect that. There's actually a couple of fish cruising about as well. Bum, bum, bum. Record. Just let that up really slowly so it gets a decent view. Oh, he's up. There you go. Okay. Right, reconnect her up. Popular swim. Obviously had a fair bit of bait in it over the weekend, I'd say, because it's still got some. Not really happy to fish over the top of somebody else's bait, to be honest. I never know what it is, do you? Nice spot, but no. Keep on searching, I think. I have got one in mind round over that other side by the bay, so I think we're going to have a look at that one. Right, I've come up to the far end. I know it's a bit shallower up here. This is where the weed grows in a month or so's time. I'm going to have a look. I can see so I don't know whether the lilies growing there and behind, but there's what looks like a nice clear channel in the middle. Looks can be deceiving, so let's have a proper underwater look. Well, it's a little bit deeper than I thought it was going to be honest. Let's have a look. In we go, in we go. There's a few, what are they? That's pads coming through, isn't it? Don't look the nicest bottom either. Looks a bit sort of choddy, muddy. There's definitely pads growing up there. Looks like there's a bit of a channel there, but like I say, looks can deceive because there's definitely a bit of new growth coming out there. All right, well, now we know. Now we know. I'm going to flick this on, chuck it out and check that spot that I baited up earlier on that bar, because I've seen quite a few fish coming in here, and rather than keep wasting an hour here, an hour there, I'm going to see if there's any bait left on it, because it was fairly easy to see because it wasn't that deep. There we go, big dong because it hit the bottom. Just going to let that up slowly. It's already on. Should get a decent bit of footage. I put a fair amount of bait out there, so if it's still there, I'll see it easily. It's not that deep there either. This connects up to him. Right, there we are. And record. Right, that is now recording. So if I take that down to the bottom, it can only be about 3 foot there. I could probably see that from the surface, to be honest. Come up slowly. Now that should reconnect. Okay, and play that back. Well, one thing's obviously apparent, there's an acute lack of boilies there. And there was quite a lot. I reckon that's good enough. There's nothing down there. They've been visiting. Like I say, I've seen a few coming in across there anyway. I think I'll leave that there as a marker and just cast straight behind it because that looks like a decent spot. Donk. That'll do. Perfect. A few boilies while we're there. I can chuck them that far. In fact, I ain't going to put too much out because I'm going to just ping the next fish that comes along. That'll do.
So another rig I'm going to show you is the Ronnie rig. It's ideal for fishing over silty bottoms, low-lying weed, and just generally presenting over a scattering of boilies. And I'll just show you how to make that now. To start off with, I like to take between 8 and 10 inches of N-trap soft. And with a quick change swivel, just form a figure of 8 loop knot. Being sure to moisten and pull down tight. Just trimming off the tag end. Then I like to take a small piece of shrink tube, roughly about 5 to 8 mil, sliding it over a curved shank hook. This piece of silicone or shrink tube would just protect the eye of the hook over the quick change swivel. Pull that into place, just pulling the shrink tube over the top. Next, I like to take a bait screw, placing it over the shank of the hook, placing a hook bead over the top. And it's just simply a case of taking buoyant pop up, screwing it onto the bait screw, like so. And then your rig should sit like that. Obviously you want to steam down the shrink tube to your liking. If you want it shorter or possibly a bit longer, depending on the aggression of how you want the hook sitting. At the other end of the rig, I just like to tie another figure of 8 loop knot. This is just for speed and ease, changing the rig should I need to. And again, moisten the knot, pull down tight. trim off your tag end. I like to steam the whole rig after it's all been put together, just to make sure everything's poker straight, the shrink tube's nice around the quick change swivel and the hook itself. And there you have it, the Ronnie rig.
Oh, I think we've got a mirror. Must be net, and it's lovely. Now that was a proper result. That just goes to show you what you can see through a fish spy. Because that was off that little spot that was cleared off. And I wouldn't have been in here otherwise. So they've obviously been visiting that sneakily and eating all my boilies. And now we've got a mirror carp, nearly. It's a very tight swim, this. He's suddenly got a second lease of life. I've already decided I'm going to scrap one of these 3 rods because 3 is far too many in here. There you go, now he has got the other line, he'll be happy. That's all he was trying to do. Is that all you were trying to do, Mr. Fish? You've succeeded now. Well done. And here he is. Hey, a mirror carp at last. And what a scrap, eh? All courtesy of a little bit of subsurface filming on me fish spy. Hey, we out-teched you, Mr. Carp, but you nearly out-muscled me. Bless you. Lovely way to end the evening. Mwah. Well done. He's a pretty one, isn't he? It's lovely. They've all been lovely looking fish, actually. We like it here.
Well done on winning the Total Carp award.
No problem, thank you.
Why do you think you won it over so much competition?
Because I think because it's so unique. You know, there isn't anything else that's exactly like this. It's not an echo sounder, it's not like other castable products that tell you stuff about the lake. This is actually a camera float. It gives you a 100% view of what is in your swim. You know, you take it down there, you're filming real time what's on the bottom. You're letting it up and you're seeing a perfect picture of not an impression of what's down there, you're seeing exactly what's down there. And I think that's the difference in this, is that it is completely unique.
So why would you use that over any other conventional echo sounder?
For those reasons, really. Like I say, you know, you cast out a conventional echo sounder, it'll give you a graph of the bottom, it will show you maybe the type of bottom, you know, whether it's firm, weedy. They can get confused with that. It can look like a shallower area and it's a weed bed. You're not 100% sure with this. You know, you're looking at a film of the bottom. It's like having your eyes underwater. You know, you'll see it. If it's weed, you're seeing weed. You're seeing weed in colour, weed. If it's silt, you're seeing silt. If it's gravel, you're seeing that bait, whatever. It's because it's an actual view of the bottom rather than an impression. That's the advantage of this. Also, although it sounds quite obvious, another advantage is once you've found that spot, you know, you've got it up there, you've played it back to your phone or your device and you've had a look, it is a marker float as well. So you leave it in situ, you cast to it, you bait round it, you know, so it's doing the job of a marker float, and when you take it down, it's doing the job of a camera. And if the water's clear enough, it can do both from the surface. Yeah. You can live stream. You know, you haven't always got to go down and have a look. If the water's, you know, clear or shallower enough, you can leave it on the top and you can see what's going on in real time below it. See your bait going in, you can see your rig going in if you're accurate enough.
A number of uses then.
Yeah, loads.
So on this session, I've struggled with phone signal. Would that be an issue if I'm using?
No, it doesn't. And a lot of people say that, and you can see why, because you know it's connected to your phone. But it's actually, if you imagine this as a modem at home, you know, this sends the signal. Your phone receives the signal. It relies not at all on anything. It doesn't go via a satellite. You know, it's coming from this directly to your phone. You can have no phone signal, no internet. Makes absolutely no difference whatsoever. If you've got a full signal, you won't get a better reception. If you've got no signal, you won't lose it. This is the sender. Your phone or your tablet or whatever is the receiver. It's a direct Wi-Fi connection.
So would the water clarity make a difference from murky water?
It makes a difference, but it will perform in any sort of water. It just depends, you know, if it's gin clear, then you're going to see from the surface down a considerable depth. If you've got any colour in the water, like we have here, I mean, we've been filming here, and this water's far from clear. You just put it onto record, go down to the bottom, and come up in increments. And you're, you know, from zero, you're going to have a good vision, and come up in increments until you lose that vision, you know, due to the clarity of the water. But no, you can always get something. You can just go down and have a look.
So will it spook fish when you're casting?
It'll spook them if you hit them right on the head with it, as would anything. But no, it doesn't spook them when it's in the water, no more than the normal marker would. I mean, we've got lots of footage of fish swimming underneath it. You know, I've taken some great footage where I've put it out there and straight away, you know, I've seen carp going underneath. Pike come up there quite interested in the splash. No, not really, no more than the normal marker would.
So do you need any specialist gear to cast this out?
I wouldn't say specialist. Spod rod, decent size reel, £50 braid. You know, a lot of people have said to me, oh, you know, what if you crack it off? You know, it's more expensive than a normal marker. But with £50 braid, I mean, you're snapping your rod before you're snapping £50 braid. So just use that straight through and it's absolutely fine. You know, if you're chucking it a massive distance, you could even use a heavier leader than that, but £50 is, you know, a substantial bit of kit. So no, that's why I use £50 braid straight through, spod rod and big reel.
So what's the maximum range you can use the fish supply at?
Well, I mean, you can use it at any range, like to pick up the Wi-Fi in the, you know, in good conditions. You probably get 100 yards, but you can use it further. So if you set it to record before you cast it, and you can cast further than that if you're casting out of signal, or even some guys take them out in bait boats. You can take them out as far as you like because it's actually already recording everything it sees. So if you took it out, let's say you took it out 200 yards in a bait boat and dropped it off, and you could film there, you could bring it back a bit, you could film there, you know, film all the way back in, and when you get it on the bank, just replay and see what you've got. So, you know, if it's beyond signal, it's still doable. One thing worth mentioning, the name Fish Spy gives you one impression that you're spying on fish, but that's not its sort of primary function. But bottom spy didn't have the same ring to it. It's for looking at the lake bed, it's for looking at baited spots, it's for watching the lake over the year, see how it's progressing, how the weeds going, what spots are being cleaned off, how your pre-baiting campaigns going, if the spot you're thinking of fishing has got someone else's bait already on it. You know, there's 1,000,001 uses for it. But, you know, seeing exactly what is below the surface on the bed of the lake and how it's, you know, being affected by the fish is more its function than actually watching the fish. You do get to see fish, and it's great when you get a bit of footage of a great big carp coming past. Occasionally you might even get one feeding, you know, if you've got it in the right spot at the right time. But generally, you know, it's for searching out the lake bed and seeing what's going on, which is obviously in the long run going to help you catch more fish.
Fantastic.
Okay, here we are, last morning of the shoot, just packing up. I've got this lovely pristine common. That'll be the last one of the trip, I reckon. Like I say, I'm half packed up anyway. But yeah, it's been good. A couple of days, Blasford Hills, had, I think this is my 10th fish. And they've all been lovely, most welcome. Sun's been out, been proper spring-like session. I've enjoyed every minute of it. So, from me and the rest of the crew, ta-da for now.